We are ready to go. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I want to first, before we make introductions, let's talk about how you and I got here. How did we
Okay.
get here, my friend?
Well, Karen, we've been friends for a little while now, and I think one of the most important things that we've learned is that we're strong women, but we're stronger together, right? And part of what we want to do in the rain circle is bring strong women together and build them up and make ourselves stronger, because I don't think there's anything better or stronger or more important in life than having a strong foundation to build. And the strong foundation for us starts with sisters and sisterhood. And so the rain circle was born from just wanting to uplift women in leadership opportunities, in investments, in building our legacy.
Yeah, I knew that I wanted more for myself over the years, and I didn't know how to do it. And I did it by failing forward and failing often. And I was really focused on women in leadership because there is a stat out there that is alarming to me on natural biases. We have biases in many reasons, in many ways. What I learned is that men are presumed smart until they prove themselves dumb, where with women, it is the opposite. We are dumb until we prove ourselves smart. And I own, 15 businesses, not all blazingly successful, but I had to learn how to form an LLC. Why LLC? We talk about intellectual property, investing in real estate. And oftentimes I find out that women don't want to ask the questions because they don't want to feel less than or that they should already know it. And so while I am 52, we won't disclose your age, not much older. We have learned we have learned that there are thousands and thousands of women just like us that don't know how to get started on becoming more and fulfilling like their achievements and their goals and hitting those goals. And so what we're going to do is lay out a foundation for women just like you and I, that we know how to make money. Do we know how to invest money or invest in ourselves? Because women that are in 45 to 65 years old are in their primary earning years. And there are so many women that I meet. They're like, it's my turn now. I've raised my family. I've supported my partner. I've done what I've needed to do for them. But what am I going to do for me? And more importantly, what can it do to change my life and legacy moving forward? Because
Correct.
for you, it's not just about selling houses. We didn't always have the buy-in, right? From partners or people that believed in us. And that happened in my mother's life too. So why don't we go ahead and introduce ourselves and just share a little bit about you, and what you want people to learn.
So my name is Grace Schiffman, Grace Ramirez Schiffman. I am a military spouse. I'm a mother of three and a grandmother of two of the most perfect grandbabies ever. And I think what I've learned moving forward is that there, like I said, there's a lot of power in women. There's a lot of power that I didn't give myself. That with the help of someone like Caryn Prall, people who believed in me, now I see a different side of myself, right? I know that I'm the investor. I know that I'm the grower. I know that I'm the legacy builder for my grandbabies. What I want them to see moving forward is that Grandma Grace did this right for them. All of us have that ability to do, whether it's buying investment properties, whether it's passive income and any other opportunity that we have. We are the legacy builders. We are the queens in charge of our own future.
You're right. I mean, I look at, we're in Lady Leaders with Rachel Adamsley, who founded Lady Leaders, and we're partners in that. And that has 12,000 members. But I get questions when I'm teaching all over the country, all over the world of, do you coach? I've coached agents. Taylor was one of the biggest blessings, Taylor Hunt, in the world. And I was like, you need to get your LLC set up. You need a will, you need a trust. Like, let's lay the foundation, because I've had to go backwards and repair mistakes I've made along the way, and I want to prevent that. So My name is Caryn Prall. I'm based out of Chicago, Illinois, suburbs. I can't really say Chicago because Chicago people get really mad about it. So I say Chicagoland. I own, I'm an investor in five Keller Williams offices, OP of one, and I have a lot of other verticals. I have mortgage, I have title, I property casualty, I have a lot of other businesses, rental properties and things like that too. And I got to it by being, I call it harassed to success, is ask as many people as you can, but I will ask anyone anything because I love to learn from people bigger than me. And the first challenge I had was raising my financial thermostat. You and I were not born in means. My mother was a realtor. She was an amazing realtor, but just ebb and flow in income and not showing consistency. And I don't want that. And so I learned that it's not about selling houses, it's learning how to own a business. And every realtor, every mortgage originator is the CEO of their own business, and they're responsible for that destiny and the outcome that they get from it.
That's correct. That's correct. I think each of us can take, our own personal responsibility for that. It's not just about commissions, because honestly, we commission comes and goes. It's what we do with it. And in another, as we progress in this webinar, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I bought my first income producing property on my own. And now my husband is 150% behind it. But that was also a journey, right? How do we do this? So I'm just very excited to help lead this group of amazing leaders with Caryn Prall. And one other thing that I want to say is that, all of us need to realize that we have not been invited to the tables that men usually get invited to, right? The investment clubs, that this or that. We're changing that because we're smart, we're leaders, and we can do this, ladies. I want all of us to have multi-million dollar assets as we retire.
Yeah. And we're going to go through books that have helped me, but it's more about the conversations. Are you worth it? You are, like, we are worth it. I didn't know that. I had a lot of confidence. I didn't have a lot of self worth.
Ooh, yes, yes. I bet you there's a lot of other ladies that are like that too.
Yeah. It's okay. Yes, I can go ask a question and I can know what to say. And I'm really good at selling houses, but also, did I deserve it? Did I earn it? So that was the biggest challenge I had, is that step one is, how can I know that I'm worth it? I'm worth it to be a millionaire. I'm worth it. And it was changing that thermostat. So there's a book called Think and Grow Rich. That is something about raising your economic thermostat, getting outside your just own region, your own territory, your own market, and ask people, how did they do it? Because entrepreneurs love to share, and they share through their mistakes. And boy, have I made mistakes. I've been engaged in lawsuits, and there's risks in that, but there's also insurances for that. And that's what I'm so excited to go through the lessons I've learned through this series. So we're going to do it at the same time every week at Tuesday at 4 o'clock. We're going to live stream. It's also then people can download the webinar as well. And we're going to have handouts. So today it's just going through the foundation. I'm going to risk sharing my screen because I've not used StreamYard in quite some time, but I do love StreamYard. So I am going to pull this presentation up, and let's just talk through where the foundation is. I'm sure there's other people out there like, this is great. I need more. I deserve more. I want more. I can get more. Why not me? Why not me?
And the reason that, one of the things that I've asked myself, it's not just why not me? It's not why not my kids and my grandkids? Because there are people like me that still have that block, right? Why not me? Well, maybe I'm not worth to be a multimillionaire or millionaire real estate investor, but I sure as heck am going to do it for the legacy I'm going to leave my kids and my grandkids. So any of you that need that boost, don't do it for yourself. Do it as the legacy builder for your family.
Well, that's it. Is I ask people oftentimes when I'm teaching, what is it that I want them to think of me when I'm long gone? My grandkids call me grandma because I think 100% I'm too young to be a grandma, right? So we're going to upload, I'm uploading this handout. And what is it that I want them to say about me? long after I'm gone. And you don't think about that stuff before you're 40. You really don't. But as you get older and I realize I'm on the last third of my life, right? What is it that I need to think of next? So first is mindset shift from agent to CEO. My mother was a realtor. I'm a business owner. You are a realtor. You're actually a business owner. And understanding the difference. Agents are reactive. They let the market and comments and feedback rather than go internal into themselves and go, nope, I'm trusting my gut on this. CEOs are proactive. We're strategic. We make a plan. We set goals. Goals are everything. I used to think I didn't have in 2015, Grace, my goal was to save $10,000.
I believe that. I believe
Just
that. Then you
10
raise your
years ago.
thermostat. Yeah.
And I had to surround myself with people that are like, oh, you can do it too. And I believe in you. Like seeing people, like you said, I saw you, and that touches my heart. It's actually seeing people for their potential because they don't see it yet. It's also agents are chasing transactions, CEOs build systems. Everything I think about when I was building brokerages was I can say yes to this at 50 agents. Can I say yes to this at 200, 300? Mortgage originators, real estate agents need to think the same way. I can say yes to this transaction, but what happens when I have 20 in my pipeline and think real time when I have 20 closings this month? Just your thoughts. What are we doing with our time? Where do we spend our time? What has to get done today for us to move our needle forward? Because it's really uncomfortable turning from agent to CEO or lender to CEO.
I think that one of the things that we need to do is with this group is ensure that we're not in that room by ourselves, right? Ensure that there is a foundation for us to ask and raise our thermostat together. Because like Caryn, if someone had told me just a few years ago that I have equity in my properties, not just that I own them and they're worth this amount, but I have equity probably in close to $2 million, I would be like, there is no way. There is no way. But coming with people like Caryn, with Mo Anderson, with people like that, you can see the struggle and you can see where you can build. And they're not that much different than I am, right? Um, but it takes that raising the thermometer, like you said. So we're going to go through all of that together.
Yeah, like next week, we're going to talk about forming an LLC and the benefits and the negatives. Now, we are not tax professionals. We hire tax professionals, but it was because we hired tax professionals that we can help other people and save on making mistakes we made and the benefits and the negatives from it. So really the handout we're going to leave with today is write one sentence that defines your vision is the why. So my why has changed over the years so many times. My first why was because I was avoiding pain. I didn't want to be a bartender at 40. Literally, I was like, I don't want to work in restaurants at 40. Oh, I guess I'll go into real estate because that's what my mom did, right? Because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But I've always known I was an entrepreneur. I always knew, even as a bartender, Grace, I would like cost out how many times I could turn each stool with what my average tips were. Like I was already thinking like a business owner. I just didn't know I was because I thought I was dumb. But I literally treated bartending like a business because that is a business.
Yes, I think at every step we need to look at that. I think we need to look at how we are business owners and CEOs of our business and our life, not just making a commission, Caryn.
That's right. And so my business should fund my life, not run my life, define my why and long term purpose. So my why is impact, abundance, and integrity. Like every decision I make has to fall with those three things. Does this have integrity? Can I defend it to the people that matter? Right? Who is this going to impact and in a positive way? And am I thinking big enough? Because I want to take people with me. Is I actually, Grace knows this about me because she's one of my best friends and we met through professional networking groups, is that I don't want to do anything alone. And women and in real estate, it's lonely. It's so much lonelier than people think it is. They think we're out socializing all day. It's like, no, we're kind of going from one client to the other.
I would just had this conversation with someone. It is a rough business to be in. because you stand alone a lot of times. And the purpose, one of the other purposes of this group is to be able to hold each other up, right? And make sure that you don't feel alone. That when you have a question, like I never knew, I think it was Karen who told me about, making sure that I was in an LLC, that I had trust set up, all of this stuff that no one ever said. And I don't think I'm a stupid person. I just think that no one in that room had ever said, Grace, this is the way you run your business. These are the steps you take. So I want to make sure that as many people, and like Karen said, impact is important for us. As many people as we can bring along this journey, the the better it is for us, because we know we're going to leave a legacy of women that are strong and powerful and can look back at this time and say it started then.
Do you know when it turned for me? It turned for me when I moved to Naperville in 2015 to be the team leader of an office. And I met an accountant, and he would never talk to me. He would talk to my partner, who was male. And I am 5'9", 5'10". Like, I'm not a small person. I and always defer. Every commercial agent, I have like 12 leases, rental leases for my offices. No one would talk to me. And while I used that account because I defaulted to what the male figure in my life, which is a daddy issue, I'm in therapy for that too. But I would default to what they wanted to do. And I felt very dismissed, but I went with it anyway. I'm sure a few of us have had experiences where it's like, well, this is who people use, but I wasn't treated correctly. However, 5 years later, I got a call from him, and I'm thinking I'm getting yelled at, not the one we use today, Grace. And I'm thinking I'm getting yelled at. And I said, hey, what's going on? He goes, Caryn, I cannot believe what you've built in 5 years. I want to invest in you. And I
Holy
allowed it
moly.
to bring tears to my eyes. Like, what? Because that was not the call I was expecting, because I felt very dismissed. And he said, I am in shock of like, what I want to invest in you. What do you have for me? And guess what my answer was for him? Nothing, because he wasn't there for me. Right.
Yes.
And it didn't make
He
me feel
showed you
important.
who he was, right? At the beginning, he showed you who he was.
He showed me who he was. And I was like, that person will never be a partner. The other people who will never be a partner, that will do it at any cost, those are not my partners.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And so getting clear on what it is that you want. My goal is that I know that I leave a legacy that allowed people to believe that what they achieved was possible, and they're bigger beyond me. It's not me anymore. It's me showing the next generation or two generations from now where the doorway is, and go be bigger than me. There's a lot of room there for people to be way bigger.
And see, you know what's funny? And I'll just have to stop you really quickly, Karen,
Yeah.
is for a lot of people, you are just the person that people admire so much and want to be like you. And for you to say all of this stuff that's happening, it's just like when, like Mo Anderson told us that she was afraid to meet a CEO of another company because she said, who am I? And I'm going, who are
Right.
you? You're Mo Anderson, just like you. Who are you? You're Caryn Prall. Oh my goodness. I think that
Weird.
that makes us all know that there is a place for all of us at this table.
There is a place for all of us. So the vision is that I have to have a number. I talk about this often. The number I wanted in my bank account was $10,000. Like, I was happy if I had $10,000 in savings. Like, I'm not joking. I might be an atypical realtor that way, but that's what I wanted. And now you know what my number is. And I know this is crazy, but you know what my number is? And what I want in my bank account at all times? $20 million. I went from 10,000 to $20 million. And now, am I ever going to have $20 million? I don't know. I gotta get to work. But even if I have more than $10,000, am I still winning by thinking bigger? And how am I going to get there? Because at a certain age, there comes a line that crosses. What's more important? Is it time or money? I find with agents that are at 10 million or under, it's money in volume. Agents that are at 10 million, at probably 15 million or more, is time. So how do we get both of those things back as we're living out this other phase of our life? And then as we get older, purpose and impact.
Yes, yes, and there is a lot more to this, that we're gonna unpack slowly because we all know that the basis of our because we're all real estate agents here, is selling homes, but there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more that you can do with a commission than just go out and, buy more leads and go with another buyer somewhere. We're gonna walk through the steps that, allows you okay, for instance, for me right now, my husband is impacted by the shutdown. We haven't
Not
gotten
getting
paid.
paid. Not
We're
getting
not
paid.
getting paid, but we're not worried because thankfully all our houses are rented. So we have positive cash flow of a good amount of money coming in. That
But they
wouldn't have
weren't. But Grace, they weren't last year because of the
yes,
flooding.
correct, correct, correct.
And what happened then, right? You had to carry, I mean, that was a burden.
Yes. Yes, and that those are our risks that we're going to talk about. But if it weren't for that, us planning ahead of time like that, where would we be? And I don't want anybody on this call to ever think, where would I be if I don't sell 2 houses or 3 houses next month? We have to build something that supports us during the slim times, or whether your spouse or your loved one or something needs something or isn't getting paid like mine isn't right now. So that's our objective, is to make you the owner of your business, but self-sustainable, so where you don't have to worry about just another house
Well,
to
how do
sell.
you control your life when outside sources are controlling you, right? It's not your option to that your husband's on furlough. Still has to go to work, can't do another job, not getting paid,
Yeah.
right?
But what we've done in I mean, like I said, honestly, I want every person on this call to have that ability to say, okay, that's a hurdle. We have to get through it. I'm okay. I'm not going to food lines. Thank goodness. I've got, stuff for my family. So coming from the viewpoint of where I grew up, where that was a common thing, asking for food from places, charity. I don't want any of us in on this call to ever do that to our family. We're going to rise above all that and have passive income coming in. We're going to have lots of stuff for you guys so that in 2 years, we're going to look back and go, this is where it started and this is where I'm at.
That's right. And it all starts in the business plan with the why. And I feel like oftentimes I'm like, oh, that's so corny and it's so whatever. No, it is what gets you out of bed every day. And your why could be like, because I'm a badass and I deserve better. And I'm not putting up with that crap. Right. That could be your why. I mentioned mine was because I didn't want to be a bartender. My second one was because of my bonus daughters, is that I knew that God put me in their world because they did not have a strong female role model that took care of themselves. There was always dependency on some partners. And I'm like, that's my why, is to show them. And I have, they're grown, successful women, and amazing women. And then now my big why is because of my mother. And I'll get emotional and I cry often about this because my mother was a realtor and supported 5 daughters while my father was dealing with depression and alcoholism and didn't bring an income for us. And my mother went to work with 5 little girls and nailed it for us. But then she nailed it. She worked so hard. She had a stroke at a home inspection, a TIA, they call it. And when she had that stroke, it was a big awakening is time might be finite. And she developed dementia. So she worked for 43 years as a great top agent. Gosh, integrity and professionalism and just set the bar really high for us. But at the same time, she didn't get to enjoy any of it. That's my why. Yours might be driven from food insecurity and your childhood too. We all are affected by our childhood. It's what we do with that pain or how we turn it around into something great. And if you wouldn't mind, before this is going to be, these are going to be quick 30-minute lessons. But I want you to, if you wouldn't mind sharing your story when you first talked to your husband. Love him, by the way. He's amazing about you buying an investment property because he has been a career military. He has a very consistent um, certainty in his job, right? So, tell about that story because I have dozens of stories like that in my life.
And honestly, like Karen said, I mean, we've been together 30 years now. So, I love him. This isn't a slam on him. It's
Oh,
just the way that he looked at what I wanted to do. So I had been making consistent income selling real estate. And I kept thinking, there's got to be something more. I can't be selling real estate when I'm 70 years old. I don't want this. So I would, periodically say, hey, Steve, let's invest in this. Let's do this. No, 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 no. We need money in our stock portfolio because eventually that's where we're going to retire at. And I do not understand anything that's going on in the investment
Me
world
either.
because I can't see it and I can't touch it.
Do you know when people would be like, I got killed in the 2008 market? God, I lost it in the stock market. You know what I'd say? I'd go, oh, I was fine. It's because I didn't have any money in it.
I know, I know, I know. So he was very, very, very against us taking any money out. And I did something that I probably shouldn't have done, but I saw an opportunity. I said, I'm getting a loan in my name. I'm making enough money. I have, 5 or 6 years now of real estate commissions. I really don't need to do anything and ask him, right? It was my mindset, ask him for this money. So I went ahead and purchased a house. He was not real happy. He was like, "Oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?" Within 3 months, we were making, because we had to rehab it a little bit, and get some good renters in there. We were making such good money that his next questions, and every year since then, is when are we going to buy another one? Where are we going to buy another one? Because now he sees the vision, right? He believes it.
He
This
needed
market right
evidence.
now.
He's a scientist, I guess, really.
Yes, yes. And this market is a great market to start doing more investments, right? So like almost once a week, he goes, did you see something we ought to buy? Did you see? Because now he's 100% behind the fact that we can build wealth with a little bit of money. And, we've got products. I use Mutual Omaha's DSCR loan to buy our last one. There are programs out there designed for us that we can go ahead and start building more. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I love him. He didn't believe in it. And now he's 100%. Let's go find another one.
But you know what's amazing about it too is we're going to teach you next week. We're going to talk about it specifically is how to protect yourself and your family by forming a corporation or an LLC to protect your family if something does go wrong, that you have that backup. Like I'm always a doomsday because I grew up in such ebb and flow. We had $20 to feed a family of 5 or family of 7 at the time, or we were getting nice gifts. Like it was one or the other extreme. But it's also, how do I protect it? Because I'm not going to I'm not going to lose what I built, right? Businesses are one thing, but how do we separate out risking your husband's home and your children's home and your grandkids' home, right? And their future. And that's what is really important to me, is protecting those assets.
Yes, correct, correct. We're going to walk all through that. And like I said, if it had been for Karen, yeah, I wouldn't have built that. So we're
So
going to
we're
do that.
creating, this is the wrong one, but it's fine. I will bring it back. I'll bring the right one up. We're creating, we created a quick 12-month business plan. Is how much do you want to earn? What is your why? Who is going to be impacted by it? Right? Because that's really important, is who is going to benefit from it? Who are you going to tell about it? Who is going to know what your goal is and not laugh at you? Boy, having people laugh at you when I say $20 million, have people laugh at me. I'm like, what's wrong with that? Like, don't ruin my dream. Go ruin your own dream.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Don't protect, like, okay, watch me. And that's also a motivator, is anyone telling me I cannot do it. I mean, boy, I have never been more motivated than someone telling me I can't do it.
I agree. I agree.
All right, so I'm going to download this. So why don't we talk about next week, what we're going to go through, because we're going to make these short and sweet. And this was our first one, and we know we're going to get it smoother and better, but I think we did pretty good today.
Yeah, I think so too. So then next week's topic is going to be, and like Karen said, we're not accountants, but we're going to walk through the stuff that we've learned from accountants of why and when we should form an LLC, and the difference between, being an LLC, self proprietor, all of that good stuff, because there's ways to protect our assets. The week after, we're going to be talking about trademarks and the importance of protecting your intellectual property, which is something I just went through. We're going to walk through all of that important stuff because there's so many things that, unless you're in, you know, I had a girlfriend of mine once say, unless you're in the old boys room, right? The old boys club, you're not going to get this knowledge. And we've learned it the hard way. I've learned it the hard way. And I don't want you to learn it the hard way. I want you to, right up front, realize what an LLC is, how to protect your intellectual property, all of the stuff that has taken lots of money and time for us to learn.
Do you remember getting your first trademark approved? Like you are like, I have made it. And it sounds so silly, but protect you. This is my asset. This is it. If I don't have this, like I'm not making any money. Right. And what's in here is an asset. And what's in there for everyone out there is an asset. And it's worth something.
It is. It
And so
is.
intellectual property is so very important. So this newsletter, I'll see if I can learn how to post it in the link in the chat. But if you subscribe to the newsletter, it will be in there as well. So get it. But it's a quick 12-month business plan just to start. It's like, where should I start? How do I start? How do I think big enough? So, what we want is people to subscribe to our newsletter because it's going to be packed full of tips and tricks all in one place. Because I've had 25 years of going to classes, going to training, and learning from like some of the best in the world. And now we're just going to bring it here local.
I'm so excited. I'm
I am
so
too.
excited for this journey for everyone because I wish I had had it and not made the mistakes that I did. And I'm just thankful that I had someone like you in my life, right? Or someone like Mo saying this is the way we do it. And we're going to make sure that all of us know how to do it.
That's what we're here for. All right.
Yay.
Until next week. See you all soon. Mwah. Bye, everybody.